everyone, I'm Aveline. Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all having an amazing day. So today we are building another Scandinavian home. Yes, I'm still Scandinavian, so I will still be building Scandinavian homes. I just got a really funny comment the last time I built a Scandinavian home because, yeah, of course I build a lot of them. I'm from Denmark. So anyway, before we get into talking about this build though, I want to quickly remind you guys that I'm currently doing a sweepstakes for a Sims 4 pack of your choice. So all you gotta do to join is to download Disney Emoji Blitz by clicking on the link at the top of the description box or the one in the pinned comment. Then get to level 20, take a screenshot and send it to me in a DM on either Twitter or Instagram, and my socials are always linked in the description box. By the way, you have to go through the link tree, so it says like link.tr something. I don't actually remember what it looks like, but it says Linktree or something like that. So that's where you'll find my socials. And don't worry, if you are already level 20, you can still join the sweepstakes. All you have to do then is take a before and after screenshot of yourself gaining 5 levels in Disney Emoji Blitz. So you take one at, for example, level 20, gain 5 levels, and then take another screenshot and then send me both of them so that I can see you gain 5 levels. And that is basically all you have to do. So yeah, it is worldwide. It also includes console players, so literally all of you can join. So if you're still missing some packs to complete your collection, definitely go check it out. And I know there's also going to be a Star Wars themed event sometime soon, because there's a new show coming out on Disney Plus. What's it called? The Book of Boba Fett or something. I still haven't watched The Mandalorian, but it's high on my to-watch list. I just keep postponing it because I really want to sit down and actually watch it, which is hard to find time for me. But I still really want to watch it, so I'm super excited for the Star Wars related, or it's a Mandalorian event actually in connection with the show, but it's still Star Wars related. So I'm looking forward to checking out that event when it goes live sometime very, very soon. But yeah, I hope you're all having a lovely day today. I actually just came back from watching, I almost said Star Wars. That is, no, I did not, and not Dune either. I watched James Bond, the new one, with my dad and my brother, which I actually liked. I'm not gonna say anything, not gonna spoil anything, but I really liked it. I really enjoyed it. I've always enjoyed a lot of the James Bond movies. So it was actually a very delayed birthday present for my dad. But you know, with everything going on in the world still going on, the cinemas were closed for a while. I think the movie was really delayed as well because of stuff happening outside our windows. Wait, that sounds so dramatic. You guys know what I mean, okay? But yeah, we just kept postponing it, and now we finally went. It's the second time in 2 years that I've been to the cinema, and it still feels weird. Or maybe 3 times. I've been 3 times. I think I watched a Danish movie that won an Oscar, actually, which in Danish is called Druk. And I think in English it's called Another Round or something. That was lovely as well. And then I've also watched Shang-Chi with my mom, and now the new James Bond with my dad and my brother. So, but yeah, definitely if you like action movies, you know, if you like also just like James Bond movies, go check it out or something. I had a good time. But yeah, so we're building another Scandinavian home. Although this one was actually, okay, so the other houses that I've done that I've called Scandinavian, I feel like this is funny, so I'm gonna share it with you. You guys know, I always go on Pinterest when I find inspiration, or to find it, or not always, but most of the time I go on Pinterest to find inspiration for my builds. Like, I just need a Kickstarter sometimes when I have to get started building, so it's just nice to have a picture to kind of get you started or something. And Pinterest is an awesome source for kickstarting pictures. But I have built a couple of like eco houses, but also I would say the eco houses often look very Scandinavian to me, but those have been Polish inspired. The last house that I did as well, I think, was Polish or Polish inspired. I don't know. The pictures were from a Polish building project, which the name of that project was actually explained to me in a comment. It means home or house or something. I don't know. So basically the project name is Project House or Project Home. I don't exactly remember what it said, but something like that. It's one of those 2 words. But this house is not Polish. It was actually inspired by a Thai house. So I still find it funny though. I changed it a little bit because the original house was very brown on the exterior, and you won't see, well, you will see a lot of brown houses, but they're more like brown red kind of here. So I don't know about Norway and Sweden. I've not been for ages. I'm just gonna straight up say that. But you will not necessarily see a lot of like brown houses like the one that I found on Pinterest, the Thai one. So I ended up changing it to white instead because there's a lot of white houses here. Like either white or they'll have this sort of beige, yellow color, maybe red as well. I've seen a couple of ones that were black or a dark gray, which I find interesting as a house color because, I mean, I'm kind of gravitating towards it, but that's also as a person who really likes black. But I still feel like it's very dark. I don't know. That's how I can describe it the best. But I wanted this to be a little less Thai and more Scandi, so I changed it to white. But now it looks really, all you have to do is basically change the exterior color. Isn't that funny? And now it looks like a Scandinavian house. So that's not that I've seen a house that looks specifically like this here, because I have not. But Scandinavian architecture is also a lot of things, so it's not just like this. Don't worry, I know. I actually built a typical Danish home a while ago. It was while I was living in Scotland. I just come home from a trip to Denmark. So I was in Copenhagen and I saw a lot of these, don't know the English term for it, but it's called muamestafiller. That sounded so weird. I cannot swap between two languages. I cannot. But anyway, so it's just I grew up in a house like that. Basically, the whole neighborhood that I grew up in had houses like that. I remember someone in the comments said that only rich people live in these kinds of houses, and I'm like, my family's not rich in any way, but I was literally born in a house like that. So it depends on the area that you find the house in, because areas can have a big effect on the price of the house. So if you live in like close to central Copenhagen, I'm sure that a house like that would cost you a fortune. But if you lived outside of the city like I did here, not Copenhagen either, but the second biggest city in Denmark, the houses are a little bit cheaper. I wouldn't say that there's a couple of houses like the one that I built in some neighborhoods close to where I lived where they cost a lot more, but in the neighborhood that I lived in, they definitely did not cost a fortune. But I was born in a house like that, so I really wanted to build one, and it was also inspired. I kind of mixed it as well with a house that I saw in Copenhagen, but also one that one of my classmates grew up in. I don't know why I'm talking about a completely different house to the one that we're building. I'm just reminiscing right now, okay? But anyway, it was also inspired by one of the houses that one of my classmates grew up in as well. So it was just, I had a good time building that one. Maybe I should build another typical Danish house, but make it, actually, I don't want to build typical Danish houses other than those kinds of houses, muamestafiller, simply because Danish houses are very boxy and flat, and that's just not really my vibe. So I don't know. She says as she's building a very boxy flat house. Anyway, let me know what you want me to build. What do you want to see? Let me know in the comments, because honestly, I suck at making decisions. So just make them with me, okay? So for the interior of the house, I definitely went for modern, but well, modern. I don't actually know what this vibe is. If you know, let me know. But I wanted it to look Scandi, but I didn't want it to be the typical all white or throw in a little bit of beige Scandi that a lot of us go for, me, myself included as well sometimes. I wanted it to be a little bit on the darker side, so I decided to go for a lot of this like sort of dark, warm brown that I really like combined. I almost said compared. I meant combined with white. It's just, there's something about it that reminds me of chocolate ice cream. I'm not really sure what that's about, but I look at the color combination and I think of a tub of Ben & Jerry's. So it's just very pleasing to me to use it as a color combination for interior, and that's what we're going with today, at least for the common area. So the living room, the dining area, and also, well, the dining area is in the kitchen, but also the kitchen. And then I had to kind of move away from the color scheme a little bit when it came to the bedrooms, which, by the way, there are 3 of total, so you can have 2 parents here or just 1, whatever you want, and also a teen and a kid. You could completely customize the bedrooms to your liking, by the way, so you could have like roommates living here instead, or, I don't know, change the bedrooms so they are for maybe not a toddler, because there's no shower, or no, there's a shower, but there's no bathtub in this house. I just want to point that out. But there definitely is a shower. But you could change it to like twins, or I don't know, maybe a young adult who's just coming home to visit sometimes, so they still have their room here, but they're off to university or something. You could do it like that. I actually considered doing that, but decided against it in the end. Also, the teen has a door to the front yard, which I know is gonna make it so easy to sneak out. So congratulations, teen. I know that that's still a thing they do in The Sims, so I thought it would be kind of not necessarily cool, but I don't know. I thought it would be a nice addition for the teen's sake. So unless Vlad comes visiting, that's just creepy. Don't let him in. It's fine. I don't think I personally like having a door directly outside, like directly to the outside, even as a terrace. I don't think I like that in my bedroom. I don't know. I have a big window, but no doors, so you can't climb in through the window either, because you can't open it enough to actually climb in. But I don't think I'd like to have a bedroom with a door to the outside, even if it was to the backyard. I don't know. I just don't think I'd like that for some reason. Are you on board with me, or am I just being weird? I don't know. But I decided to give the teen one, so they got themselves one of those. Congratulations, I hope they're okay with it. And then I also actually decided to clutter like a fair amount throughout this house, I want to say. So I didn't want to overdo it, because I'm definitely, when it comes to this sort of furniture style, I'm definitely more into combining it with less clutter than over cluttering everything. I just feel like it fits the style better for some reason, but I did clutter it to the max that I felt was fitting for the style. Does that make sense? I don't really know why I feel like that when it comes to the style, but for some reason, a lot of clutter just doesn't look right with it to me. I don't know what it is. So we are using clutter, but just toning it down a little bit. And then for the parents' bedroom, like I said, I did have to kind of move away from the color scheme a little bit. So I decided to, because the bed only came with these bed sheets on them, I couldn't change them to white or any other color, so I had to go with the blue and kind of green, which to me is not my favorite color scheme either. But we're gonna go with it because of the bed sheets. That's just how it is, or the throw, or whatever is on this bed. I'm not really sure what it's made of, but I had to go with blue and green. Not my favorite color combination, but we're going with it, okay? So that's why we're kind of swaying away from the color scheme, because there's not really a lot of that going on in the common area. It's mostly black and then the brown that I mentioned, and of course white. So I would say, well, brown is the color, but you know what I mean. There's no like blue, green, red, yellow, I don't know. I have such a hard time doing this voiceover for some reason. It's just like I keep stumbling on my tongue. Does that make sense? Like I just keep getting tongue-tied. So we're just gonna move on. But anyway, there's a little bit of color going on in the parents' bedroom, but yeah, just not in the common room. So the 3 bedrooms are actually going to be very different from each other color scheme wise, but I also think that's kind of fun because it just adds a little bit of personality to the bedrooms, I feel, when they're not all necessarily following the same color scheme, if you get what I mean. So yeah, but also the added door to this bedroom actually made it really hard for me to decorate it, because I don't want to place stuff in front of windows, at least not like big pieces of furniture. I'm okay with a desk now and then, but no dressers. I don't know what the system is to that, but there is some kind of system. I just can't figure it out. But for that reason, it was really difficult because we have a whole wall that is basically just windows and doors, and I don't want to place anything in front of that. So it was difficult to kind of find place for all the things that I wanted this teen to have. I think this is basically what we end up with. I don't remember what I placed on the right side of the desk over here. I think maybe just a plant or something. So there's a little bit of something extra. Hopefully this is their own little project and they can see if they can keep the plant alive. It's a rubber plant, so that's fairly easy. Just don't overwater it and you're good. Now that it makes a difference in The Sims because they don't water their plants, but basically if you think about it, all the plants in The Sims are actually fake plants. Isn't that kind of sad? All those gardener homes that I've done where they had a lot of plants, essentially they just had a lot of fake plants. Isn't that sad? I feel a bit like a fraud all of a sudden. All the plant homes that I've done, technically, they've just been filled with fake plants. I don't know, I feel a bit like a fraud. Anyway, moving on, but I still stand by the fact that, or the idea that it would be funny to have, like, plants in The Sims. Not the ones that you grow outside in the plant pots or in the soil, but actual house plants that will grow with time. I think that would be fun, but maybe that's just because I'm a plant nerd. For other people, it probably wouldn't be fun. I don't know. I feel like this is a very big bedroom for a kid, so I was suddenly had a lot of space on my hands, which I'm not used to when it comes to kids' rooms because I always make them super small, just like toddler rooms. They're always really tiny. But in this, or is it really that big? I don't know. Is it a 4 or a 5x4? It's a 5x4. Yeah, that's 20 tiles. That's a lot of room. So I gave them basically everything that kids should need except for maybe a drawing table and a science table or whatever, alchemy lab. I forgot what that item is called because I literally never use it. Isn't there also a new one of them? I'm not sure. I feel like there's something telling me that there was probably a new one from Dream Home Decorator. I don't know. I need to go back into the game. I just never use that item because it takes up so much space. But aside from those two items, they have basically what they should need. Also, a lot of the things that actually I don't remember how skills work in The Sims. I should probably brush up on my gameplay skills because honestly, I don't have any. Maybe yeah, you can't brush up on skills that you don't have. You need to basically start anew. Okay, that's fine. I'll get to it eventually. But anyway, I just remember for the 100 baby challenge, you kind of needed the alchemy lab because otherwise it was really hard for them to level up logic skill, I think it's called, or is it called mental or something like that. They either needed a chess table or the alchemy lab. I don't really remember fully. Is it called logic? Wow, I suck at The Sims. Anyway, I can build. It's fine. I'm just gonna stay in my element. I hope you guys will figure it out if you decide to use this house though, and you realize that you need the kid to have some other skills. Hopefully you can take out some items and fit in an alchemy lab if it's needed, but I just keep forgetting that it's an item that exists in the game because I literally just, I don't know, it takes up so much space, so. It's like woodworking tables. I only ever place woodworking tables in my builds if there's a garage because they don't really fit into the other rooms that well in my opinion. So I always end up putting them in the garage if anything, or maybe outside, but they don't really get to stay in the rest of the house for some reason. The alchemy table is kind of like that, except I just forgot that it exists. It doesn't really fit into the rest of the house, in my opinion. I don't know. I've never seen a kid with an alchemy table in real life. You know what I mean? Like, where would they put it? I don't know. Anyway, we've moved on to the backyard, so let's talk a little bit about that. This little dig out thing, I don't know what that's called, but it's basically just, I framed it up and then I just lowered the level 1 tick so that your Sims can still step into this area, because otherwise you would need a ladder, or not a ladder, well, a ladder or just a staircase. So this is basically just to place down a fire pit. That was actually something that I saw in the house picture that I found on Pinterest. And it was at the front of the house, but I couldn't make it fit out there, and it also kind of was a little bit out of place, so I decided to do it in the backyard instead and just make it a little bit bigger to make sure that your Sims wouldn't have any rooting problems, but it's basically just for the fireplace. The backyard is a little bit weird. They don't really have a lot going on here, but I also took out that swing, by the way, yeah. But they do have the fire... Did I call it fireplace? I meant a fire pit. Let's just move on from that. Ignore that I called it something else if I did call it something else. Fire pit. But they also have a pool over here, and then down where there's a lot of pebbles or whatever that terrain paint is called, I place a picnic table for them as well, so they can go outside and have dinner together if they want to. And that is basically about it, aside from also doing a little bit more landscaping. But yeah, the build is basically done after that, so I hope you all like it. If you do, you can download it off the gallery. My ID is AvelineYT, and you can also find it under the hashtag Aveline or AvelineYT. And as always, the tray files can be found on my Patreon, which will be linked to in the description box down below. If you like Roblox videos or lifestyle videos, check out my other channels. Both of those are also linked to in the description box down below. And that is all I got for you guys today. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe and all that good stuff if you did. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye!
Teardrops start to dry, even when the sun begins to shine again. Taking all the advice there is, and none of it has helped. Experience has made me realize that I won't build my life on empty words. Being so damn naive, it only hurts. I'm so tired of on how I used to be. I always thought the love was made for me. Oh well, I was just as blue-eyed as the sky could ever be. Loving you has made me realize I'm so tired of love.